Good morning. As one principal leaves, another is named by the district. We talked to the new principal about his past accomplishments and why he was drawn to RHS. It's a unique course offered here on campus, but next year students will no longer be able to take the popular geometry and construction class. We take a look back at the legacy left behind by the program. And Tiger Athletics are venturing into a new league after being part of the SFL for over a decade. We captured the thoughts of players and coaches about the switch. All of that and more on today's TigerCast News, Tuesday, May 27th, 2014.
From Eye of the Tiger, this is TigerCast News. Broadcasting from Studio 403 at Roseville High School.
Good morning and welcome to the final TigerCast of the school year. I'm Daniel Wetter.
And I'm Jacob Darby.
We start with a developing story, an administration shakeup. Next year, Roseville High School will have a different principal and at least one new assistant principal. Earlier this year, Principal Brad Basham announced he would leave RHS for a position with the district, and Assistant Principal Judy Daniels announced she was retiring. District-wide, 3 schools, including RHS, will have new principals next school year. Next year at Roseville, David Bird will become the next principal, replacing Brad Basham. The district made this announcement 2 weeks ago, and since then, we've had the opportunity to sit down with him to talk about his plans. Fuad El-Kamali has the story.
With one principal on the way out, a district-wide search for the prime candidate to lead RHS in the years to come began. It wasn't until 2 weeks ago that David Bird, who spent 4 years at Monterey Trail High School as the principal, was named Brad Basham's successor.
I was the third principal that they had. It's a very good school. They were doing a lot of really good things, but I think they were just beginning to figure out what their identity was and what that school was going to be about. So I got a chance to walk in there with a good athletic program, but an opportunity to turn it into a better one. With a good academic foundation that had been established, but an opportunity to turn it into a better one.
Before becoming the principal at Monterey Trail, Bird was a member at the Elk Grove Unified High School District as a curriculum specialist for 5 years. He was also a former U.S. history teacher for 7 years, his total academic experience totaling to 18 years.
The school was just learning how to get kids college and career ready. And so over the 5 years that I've been there, we've been able to every year steadily increase the percentage of our students that meet the UC and CSU A through G requirements. We've been able to increase that number. Just our graduation rate in general has increased steadily every single year since I've been there. And I say that it hasn't all been me. There have been some good leaders before me. Got an excellent administrative team there, and our teaching staff at Monterey Trail High School is just amazing.
It was Bird's connection to the staff here and his fondness of the RHS culture that brought him to the decision to take the new position as principal of the school.
That I think you'd be hard-pressed to find at a lot of the schools in the greater Sacramento area. I think a lot of that has to do with its tradition and history. And
Bird is looking forward to the upcoming school year and is excited to be working around the rich history of Roseville High School.
Months in the making, the spring student choreographed dance show is being put on this week. Performances ranging from hip-hop dancing to clogging, the show is designed to appeal to fans of every style. Dance teacher Sally Cofield speaks about the unique influence her students have in putting the production together.
We've been working for the last 4 weeks in class, and they've been choreographing and teaching dances that they have presented to us, and we've decided to put them in the show. In first period, it's the students themselves. They present an idea to us, and we choose those ideas to make a well-rounded show, and then they create the dance and they teach the dance.
This year's juniors took on some SBAC Common Core testing as a practice run for future students. The first round of SBAC testing experienced some difficulties, with students having problems with Chromebooks capabilities and a Wi-Fi crash that delayed testing for a day.
It pushed it back a day later, so I think the students liked having a little day off, a little break, but it's kind of annoying, I guess, just having it a day later. Are we ready? I think with a little more training, and if we fix some of the glitches that were going on, like the Wi-Fi and little things like that, I think it'll go a lot smoother, and I think we'll be ready. I think we should be trained more on the software, because it was a little confusing going into it. We didn't really know, especially the math portion, how to do it, working all the controls in the calculator, so that was a little confusing.
4 seniors were recently recognized for their achievements in and out of the classroom this past year. Senior Stephen Morin was recognized as a winner of the National Merit Scholarship, Kylie Rhodes as a national title holder in dirt biking, and senior Nikki Lacosco and junior Kendra Clint were both recognized as students with over 300 hours of community service.
I got the award for probably community service. I'm part of a nonprofit organization called National Charity League. And we do community service all over like South Placer area, like say Special Olympics or St. Baldrick's or a lot of just really different other organizations that we pair up with. And within the past few years I've done around 350 hours of community service with them, give or take.
It's been a full year of sports at RHS, and we've compiled a list of the top 10 athletes. This and more when we come back.
You are the 101st class to walk across this stage.
Always remember, you're a Tiger. Congratulations, graduates. Together, let us turn our tassel!
It's a program unlike any in the area that combines classroom teaching with hands-on experience, but this year is the last time in the foreseeable future that it will exist at RHS. The Geometry and Construction program allows students to incorporate geometry and teamwork into building houses for charity.
Geometry and Construction is one of the most popular programs at RHS, with over 60 students enrolled each year, but next year Geometry and Construction will not be offered at the school. Neil Riley shares what the class has meant to him.
This class has helped me in many ways. It's helped me better with my math, and it's also helped me with life skills that I'll be able to use later in life, and construction, be able to like fix stuff around the house.
The variety that Geometry Construction class brings from average math classes make a great opportunity for some students.
The class is a lot of fun. It's upbeat. It's not like a normal boring math class. We do like games and stuff to review, and it's a lot of fun and upbeat.
Ryan Skinner found the program to be rewarding and a great experience.
I think it's a great way to help kids with math, and also how many people can say they built houses in high school. It's really fun having a bunch of kids work together and build houses together.
The Geometry and Construction class originated from another school and was adapted to the district standards to help students who enjoy math and build a house. Principal Brad Basham tells us more.
Geometry and Construction, this is the third full year. We had a full year of planning before that. Mr. Bailey and Mr. Matanis went down to Fresno to get some training, as well as back to Colorado to see the original program, just to learn from the instructor in terms of how to go ahead and build a program like Geometry and Construction. So they took a whole year of just visiting sites, planning, getting the materials together, looking for sponsorships, doing all those sorts of things, and then doing just advertising and recruitment of students and getting the students excited about the program.
The program built many houses and taught many students and gave them experience.
The program is ending because Mr. Bailey has made a decision to transfer over to Wood Creek High School, and you know, I understand why. I mean, he has friends there. It's an opportunity to build a new program. He coaches football there. It just makes a lot of sense for him. And there are some programs like GIC which are very much personality driven, as well as you have to have the person with the right credential. And someone who has that industrial technology credential, that's a very difficult person to find. And then to find someone who has the background knowledge in terms of construction, as well as the skills as a teacher and the personality to build a program like Mr. Bailey, that's not easy to find. And so we'd have to find the right person in order to do that.
The program was very unique, and students and staff are sad to see it go.
The newest addition to the library, ebooks, have become available to all students at RHS. By registering online for the ebooks through the library, students can download almost any book they want, and they can be viewed and checked out by multiple users at once. The collection of ebooks is expected to expand over time.
The beauty for a lot of students of doing an ebook is there are no overdues because the book is automatically returned after 3 weeks. So instead of paying the library, money when you're overdue on a print copy, it just automatically leaves. So that's kind of nice. And I think, the movement is toward e-readers and computers and the digital world. So we're just stepping along with it. We're not getting rid of our books by any means, but we're just kind of adding a new component. We're adding a new type of resource for those students who want it. I think it's pretty exciting. I'd like to see a lot of students take advantage of it.
And now let's send it over to Dom for sports.
Thanks, Daniel. After more than a decade in the SFL, the Tigers are now preparing for CVC competition. Josh Carson has a story.
Roseville High School is an official member of the Capital Valley Conference, or CVC, and will be going up against some new competition starting at the beginning of next school year. Looking at some of the teams on your screen right now, we have put together men's football and basketball records, as well as women's volleyball. All of these standings are from the 2013-2014 season, and we start with Antelope High School, who had an overall football record of 7-4, basketball record of 16-11, and volleyball record of 13-19. Bella Vista went 2-8 in football, 10-17 in basketball, and 25-13 in volleyball. Moving on to COSUMNES Oaks, who scored a 7-4 record in football, a solid 21-7 record in basketball, and a 13-16 finish in volleyball. The Del Campo Cougars went 3-7 in football, an impressive 25-4 in basketball, and 6-12 in volleyball. 8 minutes away from Roseville High School and the closest CVC team to RHS geographically, the Vikings of Oakmont went 3-7 in football, 5-18 in basketball, and 27-8 in volleyball. From the closest to the farthest away from Roseville, about 53 minutes to be exact, in Shingle Springs, the Ponderosa Bruins finished 4-6 in football, 10-16 in basketball, and 16-18 in volleyball. We finish up with Whitney High School in Rockland, who completed their football season 4 games above 500 with an 8-4 record, a 16-13 basketball record, and a 29-5 volleyball record. Men's varsity basketball coach Granucci feels the new CVC stacks up pretty well with the SFL.
Well, I think there's, we're going to take some time here to figure it out. I think it's going to be, as tough as the league we were in. Even though the teams are different, the schools are different, I think the competition is still going to be pretty stiff. As far as the rivalries are concerned, it's going to be hard to tell. Obviously you think right off the bat Whitney and Oakmont, will be some good rivals for us. But we're playing a lot of more schools that are further away, so that's going to be interesting for us too.
Some athletes, however, will miss the old SFL rivalries.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed because we grew up playing all these schools, and now we have to go back to playing schools we played before, but it's still football.
So who will be the main rivals now?
Our biggest threat will probably be Oakmont, I would say.
The biggest threat will be Whitney and COSUMNES Oaks.
The journey in the CVC has athletes and coaches confident in Roseville's ability to make an impact.
I think we will. I think we'll have a really good shot this year.
I'm pretty confident. I think that we are capable of doing well this season.
Well, I think it doesn't matter what league we're in, coming out strong is going to be important. But obviously we want to make a splash, but we're the new kids on the block, and we want to prove that we're capable of playing at a high level. So yeah, it's going to be important for us to get off to a good start.
The Tigers will begin playing opponents in the CVC starting next school year. Through countless hours of blood, sweat, and tears, Roseville athletes gave it all they had. And to wrap it all up, we're going to count down the top 10 athletes of the year. Starting off the countdown at number 10 is Maddie Mead. As a freshman, she broke the 800-meter record 3 times and placed first in the SFL finals. At number 9, we have senior Matt Talks. Matt led the varsity basketball team, averaging 19 points and 8 assists per game, while also being named a starter on the Optimist team. The number 8 spot goes to senior wide receiver Jonathan Lopez, who finished the year with 50 receptions for 752 yards and 8 touchdowns. Lopez is also a member of the record-setting 4x4 relay team. At number 7, we have senior Kyle Downey, who finished his football season with 2,000+ yards and 17 touchdowns. He was also a lead contributor for the varsity baseball team. Number 6 goes to varsity volleyball player Christian Abil. Christian was in the top 5 for aces, assists, and blocks in the SFL and accepted MVP and All-City awards. Senior Lindsay Anderson is at number 5. Lindsay plays and excels in volleyball, basketball, and soccer. She averaged a double-double of 19 points and 11 rebounds during the season, was named MVP, and made All-League first team. Number 4 is John Maroon. Maroon was on his way to state tournament in wrestling at the 132 weight class, but missed out in the final by 1 spot. In at number 3 is junior Nielsen Powless. Nielsen runs cross country and ran the 3-mile race in a time of 15 minutes and 26 seconds before getting 8th at the state cross country finals. Number 2 spot goes to Virgie Velasquez, who led the girls golf team this season. She was the first girl from Roseville to make it to state, where she finished in 8th. Velasquez competed in a Pro-Am event at Pebble Beach and is ranked 44th among high schoolers internationally. And topping the countdown is junior Arturo Sotomayor, who runs both cross country and track. Arturo is ranked 8th in the state in the 800, 10th in the mile, and is part of the 6th ranked 4x4 relay team. He also set the school records in all 3 events. And that completes our list of Roseville High School's top 10 athletes. Back to you, Jacob.
Thanks, Dom. That wraps up this TigerCast news. On a more personal note, making the TigerCast has been some of the best fun I've had at Roseville. And if you guys weren't watching, we wouldn't have been able to put it all together.
This also wraps up my last TigerCast news here at Roseville. It's hard to believe that this is my last show here at Roseville, and I wanted to take a moment to thank some people. 4 years ago, I sat down with Roseville's journalism advisor, Bobby Ritter, at Boljon. I told him about my vision for a new broadcast program at RHS, and he said, "Let's do it." Looking back, I know now that I really had no idea what all it would take to get that done, but I've had the time of my life giving it my all. I still remember the first TigerCast back in 2010 when Taylor Quatman and I anchored outside the admin building. We've come a long way since then. And looking ahead, I can't imagine what this program does next. First, I want to thank Bobby Ritter. Without his unwavering commitment to helping me build this program and guidance along the way, we wouldn't be broadcasting to you right now. Next, I want to thank the administration here, namely Principal Basham, Mr. Wilson, and Mr. Fisher, for believing that this really could become a reality. And finally, I want to thank you, the students, teachers, and parents of Roseville High School. The stories we air and the events we live stream are all about you guys, and without you, there would be no TigerCast news. I know it's cliche to say, but all I can really end with is, once a tiger, always a tiger. From all of us here at TigerCast News, we'd like to thank you for tuning in every week and supporting your school's media program.
So on behalf of Media Productions, TigerCast News, and myself, it's been real. See you next time.